you take a lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck-sticking people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes.
Hey, welcome back to Routes and Relationships. And I am, as always, your host, Mia Mignon.
And I am Maury Langshaw, Renegade Relationship.
The Renegade Relationship.
What's up, sports freak?
Not a must. What's going on with you today?
Same old, working, grinding.
Working, grinding. I like that. That's why I love you.
Aw, love you too.
Okay. Anyway, so...
What's on the agenda for today?
Sports and relationships.
Specifically,
let's talk about Isaiah Thomas and his interview that he did with ESPN in regards to him being traded from Cleveland to LA.
Oh, the Isaiah Thomas of Sacramento, Phoenix, Boston, Cleveland, now LA.
Yeah, we're strictly going to talk about his trade from Cleveland. We don't want to go over his NBA resume.
Okay, well, because that goes into when I think about Isaiah Thomas, that goes into play for me. So, what about Isaiah Thomas's trade from Cleveland to LA? He being petty as usual? He being 5'9" about it?
You're being petty right now.
Oh, my bad.
You're being real petty right now. And speaking of getting traded away from a relationship standpoint, we're going to talk about taking your husband back after finding out he has possibly fathered a baby.
He possibly fathered a baby.
Yes.
Where did she get these scenarios?
Life.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, nasty trifling men out here.
On that note, hey, how's Isaiah Thomas doing?
I guess he's doing okay. He mentioned that he thinks that Cleveland reacted too fast on trading him and not giving him a chance to gel and do things, and they used him as an scapegoat.
How do you feel about that?
I agree 100%.
Do you?
I do. I think they used him as an scapegoat.
First, let me ask you this so I can understand your perspective, because I've known you for a very long time now, and how you feel about things is very specific to what you believe about the situation, how close you are to the situation. So, are you a fan of Isaiah Thomas?
No.
Okay, go ahead, finish your thought.
I think they used him as an scapegoat. I think LeBron felt like he was a mini Kyrie, and he didn't want to have to deal with Kyrie again, which is why he kind of got rid of him. He kind of saw those signs early, so he decided, you know what, I'm going to nip this in the bud, and I'm going to just get him on out of here. I really think, but the problem is LeBron is anybody that he gets in that place, he's going to think they're a mini Kyrie, because they are a mini Kyrie. That's what they're supposed to do. It's their job to do that, and he doesn't necessarily like that because he wants to be the man. So anybody else that shows signs of that I could possibly be the man, I could possibly do some things, and hey dude, share the workload, he doesn't want it. So, yeah.
So LeBron doesn't want it?
No, LeBron doesn't want it. No matter how much he says that he wants it, and it's a team sport, and I know I can't go out here and do everything. He wants all the accolades, he wants all the shine, he wants all the glory, he wants everything.
Yeah, I definitely don't think about that about LeBron.
Well, I do.
We're not talking about LeBron. As far as Isaiah Thomas, were you done with your Isaiah Thomas?
I guess so. Let's go.
Okay, just want to make sure. Because Isaiah Thomas he thinks he's a much better player than he is. He thinks, put it like this, in the NBA, there's a tier of players.
Mm-hmm.
They're all-stars, and there's super all-stars.
Mm-hmm.
then there's good players, and then average players at the bottom of the totem pole, because nobody's a bad player. Isaiah Thomas is a good player.
Yeah, I would call him.
However, fans in the media like us, we like a good story.
Okay.
Like when your parents tell you stuff about their relationship, is it really relationship advice and you're going to take it and run with it? Or is it a good story that's going to make you laugh and make you feel good?
My parents should have never told me anything about their relationship.
Okay, skip over that analogy because we're going to go off in tangent.
Yes, go.
Isaiah Thomas is a great story, and because he had a good season in Boston,
Yeah.
he thinks he's this great player. He thinks he's an all-star, and he's not that caliber of a player. He comes from modest means, where I think his brother or his sister was killed.
His sister.
Yeah. He's 5'9", and he made it to a league of a 6'4", fast, big, athletic person.
Non-fundamental playing basketball people. Okay.
No, these are very good, fundamentally sound basketball.
Okay.
There's not a bum in the NBA. There's not one bum in the NBA.
Oh, well, that's what we need to talk about next, because I can give you a list of
Well,
bums.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas is a good basketball player with a great story.
Okay.
And especially him having the season he had in Boston, coupled with the fact that he lost his sister and everybody's rallying behind him, he just seemed like an overall great person. Therefore, his stature in the league rose high.
Okay, let's get to
But as far as his basketball play, it's very average.
Okay.
And Boston GM, Danny Ainge, knows this. Unfortunately for LeBron, Cleveland's GM believed the hype. Therefore, a trade for Kyrie and Isaiah happened, and it was utterly ridiculous.
Yes.
Kyrie is a super all-star player,
I would agree with you.
and Cleveland gave their super all-star player to Boston for a good player.
Well, Kyrie didn't want to be there.
The trade-off just isn't. But talent is talent. And we saw in the 15 games that Isaiah played, he was awful. Now,
Maybe it was the scheme.
there's no players play. Kevin Durant played for the Seattle Supersonics, then the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now the Golden State Warriors. He was a star in Seattle, moved to Oklahoma City. Now he's still a star is a star. Dwayne Wade played for Miami.
But that's Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. No,
Right,
we would agree
a
that Kevin Durant
player.
is not Isaiah Thomas.
My point is talent is talent, is my point.
But you just said that Kevin
No matter
Durant's
where
talent,
you play.
Kevin Durant's talent is not Isaiah Thomas' talent. Isaiah Thomas is, you call him good, I call him average. I wouldn't call Kevin Durant good or average.
He's a superstar
Superstar, right.
player. Right. My point is, again, talent is talent.
Okay.
And Isaiah Thomas just doesn't have a talent that he thinks he has. That's why in his first game back in LA, the problem now with Isaiah Thomas, he believes so much that he's that good and he's not. It's going to cause problems within teams, cultures, and personalities. Just like when he came back to LA, well, I think he's from LA, but so he came back, yes. But when he played for the Lakers his first game back, he had like 22 points. He was pretty much 50% from the field, but he had an average game. He felt he said in the post-game interview that he felt he had his superpowers back.
You okay?
That
What's
means
wrong
to
with
me. That means to me that his ego is talking more than his play. He needs to understand, like, dude, you think you got your superpowers back? You shot 50% from the field. You took 22 shots to make 22 points.
Maybe that's his best. Like, he feels like he's at his best when he does that.
If that's his best, then every team that signs this dude is going to be in trouble.
Well, every team that has signed him has been in trouble, with the exception of Boston, because he had more than LeBron around him to help him.
And he was able to be the number one guy.
Right, so maybe the problem in Cleveland wasn't necessarily Isaiah Thomas. It was who Isaiah Thomas and LeBron had around them.
No, I just disagree with that. I think
Kevin Love didn't play.
Isaiah Thomas's problem in Cleveland was Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
As we have seen prior to Isaiah Thomas in Boston, post Isaiah Thomas in Boston, Boston hasn't lost a step. The key to Boston's success now is their coach. Mm-hmm. Their coach is a bona fide young stud. So he made Isaiah Thomas who Isaiah Thomas is. Okay. And people, you got to remember, he's been in the league. He played for the Sacramento Kings. He's played for the Phoenix Suns. Okay. He's played for the Celtics. And he's played for Cleveland. So in 9-10 years, he's had 2 good seasons, and he's a bona fide good player. No, his problem is Isaiah Thomas, and he's going to be, unless he understands that he's a backup point guard at best, then he's going to continue to struggle.
Well, he's not going to be a backup point guard at best. Everybody's going to treat him like he's the man.
Which is the problem.
And well, then that's why he believes that they reacted too fast. You can't blame him for believing that they reacted too fast if this is what you've been telling him. If he believes this because he's supposed to believe that, he's supposed to think he's great. Like most people say, you're the greatest thing out here, and you gotta hype yourself up to do it. I get it. So if you tell him overall that he's great, coupled with the fact that he already believes he's great, then he's gonna sit up there under the cameras, under the lights, and say, LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers reacted too fast and traded me in 15 games or however many games that I paid because they didn't get enough. They didn't get the chance to see enough or to experience what I can do. And they use me as an scapegoat. So at some point, yeah, Cleveland does have to take responsibility for the decisions they made and how they handled that whole situation while he was there, while he was the Cleveland Cavalier. They have to.
Yeah, to me that's a Kyrie Irving issue. Because they handled the Kyrie Irving trade request badly, and they look for the best opportunity as quickly as possible. And Isaiah Thomas was one of many. Could they have gone to Houston, or could they have gone to Houston and done a deal for Harden or Paul to come to Cleveland for Kyrie Irving? That's more equal. That's more an equitable trade. But Kyrie for Isaiah is ridiculous.
Well,
but you keep on saying that people are saying Isaiah. People telling you just said that people tell Isaiah Thomas that he's great. He believes he's great. No one is telling Isaiah Thomas he's great.
They do say that he's a good player.
Who's they?
They do say that he's a good player.
No, you just said great.
This year,
you said great.
Well,
you said
great. Hype man, hype it up, however you have to do it.
Well, those are two completely different adjectives to describe somebody.
Listen, they've been telling him something for him to believe that he's as good as he thinks he is according to you.
No, Brad Stevens put him in a position to be good,
Brad
and
Stevens told him that he was good.
He didn't tell him anything.
He put him in a position to think that he was good, and so he was good all through the playoffs last year. All you talked about was Isaiah Thomas, even when he was hurt. If Isaiah Thomas doesn't come back, then they won't beat the Wizards. They won't this. They need Isaiah Thomas. So when you do this, when you make him the man, I even sat into playoff in bars and heard people say, "Man, that little dude Isaiah Thomas, man, that little dude." So people were talking about him. So yes, that's why he feels the way that he feels.
Yeah, but
you talking about him, not you per se, but I'm talking about you as a fan talking about him. You got analysts talking about him, and then you have his own ego hyping him up. The three of them together is going to make him sit there and have the kind of interview that he has to say that he's an scapegoat and that they got rid of him because of their own issues. They wanted to use him as an scapegoat because they couldn't handle their situation the way they were supposed to handle their situation. They brought him in as a Band-Aid, and they didn't need a Band-Aid. They needed gauze. They needed surgery. They just used him, and he just happened to be a cap casualty. So that's what it is.
Okay.
I know you feel the way you feel about Isaiah Thomas, and I could care less one way or another.
I think that people in Cleveland, including all the players, not just LeBron, realize that, wait a second, his name is bigger than his play. And when you look at it, his career, his name has always been bigger than his play. And when your name is bigger than your actual output, then you need to step back.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. I'm just
So,
talking about him being used as an scapegoat. That's it.
I mean, he's being used as a scapegoat. They realize he can't play. Get him out. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, well, they got him out, and he feels like they got him out too early.
Well, I didn't know he felt that way. Because I heard he said he's glad to be out of there. Not glad, but he understands why he's out of there. And he said everybody's for themselves. There's no team chemistry.
Right, panic mode.
So, yeah, I'm not sure how that relates to, like, they wanted me out of there. So he's taking shots at the team as he's leaving. But they want him out of there. That he feels they want him out of there. Granted, he can't play. He's not that good. that's why they want him out of there.
Well,
you don't fit in the scheme. You're not a good player. You're not a bona fide scorer. You're 5'9".
So what?
Yeah, those type of players don't really last in the league.
He was 5'9" last year when he took his team to the championship. So, anyway.
Again, that's how, when I look at the coaching, because coaching is important, that's how good Brad Stevens is.
Well, and that's how bad Tyronn Lue is. We can talk about how bad Tyronn Lue is.
Because, I don't know how, because he's been to the finals every year he's been in Cleveland.
He ain't no damn coach. LeBron was his coach.
Call it what you want.
Anyway,
Call it what you want.
Let's move on.
Because the logic behind my argument stands.
Okay, I got it. I understand it.
All right, Isaiah Thomas is a bum. Got it.
Your opinion. You want to talk about more bums? Let's talk about more bums. Let's talk about husbands.
God.
Specifically, cheating husbands who go out here and have affairs on their wives.
Mm-hmm.
And how their wife find out that they have affairs is they get served a subpoena. They come to their house, knock on their front door, and they get served a subpoena that says that your husband needs to appear in court because this baby in question may very well be his baby. Do you take him back after you find out that that baby is not his baby? Once you go to court and they do a DNA test and you find out that's not his baby, do you take him back? Do you think it's okay?
So the scenario is that you found out that there's a possibility that he has this baby. You go to court, you find out it's not his baby.
Right, so she gets hit with a double whammy. She doesn't know her husband is cheating until she gets served a subpoena that this baby could be his. So all in one swoop, she finds out her husband is cheating and her husband has fathered the baby.
Well, it depends how you value the current stance of your relationship versus your value in what you accept as a woman.
You're going to have to explain that because the way I'm hearing that, it's not getting ready to go over well, so I need you to explain. I need you to explain what you're saying.
I have no problem, throwing cold water on faces. Wake the brain cells up. Hey.
Right, so let's deal with the fact that I got this subpoena that says your husband has cheated on you.
You won't get a subpoena that says your husband cheated on you.
The subpoena is telling me, I'm reading it to say, hey, your husband got to go to court to determine whether or not he's fathered this baby.
Right, that's completely
so I'm reading this subpoena because I'm getting this subpoena.
You're interpreting.
Right, I'm reading this subpoena as, wait a minute, my husband cheated on me and he fathered a baby?
Right, that's what you're saying to yourself.
Yes,
that's not what the subpoena says.
Yes,
Okay, to make it clear.
Right, but
with the
common sense said that he cheated on you in order to have his baby.
Sure,
Right.
you can say that to yourself. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's a buck. Just like I said, Thomas.
All right,
Let's go.
again.
Mhm.
Now you've gone to court. You're upset that he cheated on you, and you're upset that he fathered a baby.
Yes.
Now it's come out. The case is over.
Uh-huh.
He has not fathered a baby.
Yes.
But your thought of him cheating on you is still with you, and you're angry, and you left him, and you're thinking about taking him back because, after all, the baby's not his.
Well, no, he comes back and say, "Listen, look, the baby isn't mine.
Take me back."
Take me back. Let's work this out. See, you put me out, and the baby is not even mine."
Okay, then what are you saying? What is the woman saying in this scenario? She's saying, "Okay, baby, you right. Come back home, daddy." What is she saying? Or is she saying, "No, dickhead, you cheated on me. Our relationship is over."
Yeah, she needs to be saying, "No, dickhead, our relationship is over."
Okay, you're somebody who puts values of what you accept over the stance of your relationship, or the status of your relationship.
Well, here's the thing. This is why
Let me know when you're ready for me to explain that.
Yeah, this is why I say the relationship is over. Because number one, you cheated on me. Number two, you cheated on me and you had unprotected sex. Number three, there was a possibility that you had this baby in the mix. And number four, when you add all three of those things together, you didn't respect me to begin with to go out here and sleep with that woman. And you know the biggest thing for me, is respect, yes, and taking away my choice. We have a conversation in the beginning of our relationship, what my expectations are, and what I want, and what I'm willing to accept. And when you go out here and you have this sexual relationship, then an unprotected sexual relationship, then we have problems. So no, sir. You can come back to me. Congratulations, the baby's not yours. You don't have to pay child support for that baby. Then that's all great and that's all fine and dandy. But I'm not taking you back, bones.
Again, it's all of the risk reward that you're willing to take. I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you. I get it. But some women that, let's say, you don't work, you don't pay any bills, you have this lavish lifestyle, you love it, and you can't imagine your life any other way.
You know what she's saying? Oh, go ahead.
Again, and then this happens. Then now you're weighing your options. He did have this affair. He did have unprotected sex. It's just a whole fucked up situation. At least he doesn't have a baby. Am I going to leave this lifestyle for that? Apparently you are. But many women, they're not leaving that lifestyle. They're like, okay, he messed up. He's back home. He's here. We talked about it. We're moving on. So for when I say you got to weigh the status and where you are in your relationship versus what you will and won't accept, that's what that means. Like, are you willing to risk your current beautiful lifestyle for one little affair?
Well, he risked his beautiful lifestyle for one little piece of ass.
Now, maybe you didn't look at it like that.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I'm that woman who is having this lifestyle, this beautiful lifestyle, and don't work and don't this, and my husband has this affair with unprotected sex and possibly has this baby, and come to find out it's not his baby, and let's just say that, I was just crazy enough to take him back. That day I take him back will be the day I start planning to leave him. I'm going to put money aside. I'm going to set myself up to leave his ass. And then I'm going to get myself to a position where I can function on my own. And I'm going to sit him down and I'm going to tell him, if I feel like it, because I might just wake up one day and just break out. And he'd come home and just be like, damn, where'd she go? But I'm going to sit him down and I'm going to tell him, you know what? I tried to make it work. Couldn't make it work. And I'm out.
That sounds like that sounds like a plan. I cannot see any woman executing that because women are too emotional to execute a plan like that.
Oh my gosh! Well, I tell you what.
I could see you watched a lot of Lifetime movies.
Yeah, that's not Lifetime movie.
That's a Lifetime movie.
That's not Lifetime movie.
But for a woman to say, yeah, baby, I want to take you back. We're going to continue our loving life. But your whole time, you're plotting an exit by taking money put inside, and you're going to get enough money to live on your own and continue your lifestyle. That takes a lot of emotional warfare to pull off. But I don't think women have that with them.
Right.
Well, you can start that.
You're just not going to get a chance to do me like that twice. And if I was crazy enough to have myself in a position where I have to totally be dependent on you, and when I'm totally dependent on you and then something like that happens, you're not going to get me in that position again.
Then why don't you just leave now? Why would you go through all that to leave in the future?
Well,
just
because
leave.
you just said I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I love this lifestyle.
You're gonna get something out of it. You have to get something out of the divorce. You're gonna get something. You're just not gonna. You're not gonna live the way you currently live.
Okay.
After the divorce, but you're gonna have something. You're gonna get alimony. You're gonna get something.
Yeah, well,
you won't be destitute.
Well, I originally said, no, dude, you're not gonna get a chance to do that to me. Originally, I said I was gonna be out.
But here's the thing: if you value yourself that much based on cheating, why don't you just leave and take the towels that you brought in here with you?
Well, I
and
would.
you go find your family member to sleep on until you get yourself together. If you value yourself that much.
I said that in the beginning. No, I won't take you back.
Well, no, you just said that you would plan an exit strategy.
Based
that
on your scenario,
you
when you said some women who don't work and they have this lavish lifestyle and their husband takes care of them and it's just all
right.
about
I was
this
saying
lavish
that.
lifestyle,
I'm saying that because you value. But the point I was making was you take the current stance situation of your relationship as it is now versus what you value in your relationship and what you will and will not accept. And what I'm saying is, if you value this more than this, then you stay. If you value this more than this, then you go. And you don't look at any other factor.
Well, originally, I'm gone. I'm leaving.
Okay, then, yeah, right. Because I didn't get the whole planning the exit strategy.
Yes.
And I'm going to save up enough. But just leave if you value yourself. And because now I'm looking at you value money. You don't value yourself.
But that's based on the whole lady who you said that didn't have anything but her husband and what her husband gave her in the house and that's her lifestyle, and some women just aren't going to go nowhere, and that's what they're going to accept because she's stay at home. She does nothing.
Yeah, I still believe women won't leave that.
Well, this one would.
It depends. It depends on what you have. If you have nothing, then shit, leaving nothing is easy. But if you have the 8-bedroom home with the chauffeur, not by yourself.
If I found that baller, I can find another one. So I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it.
All right, well, good. You value yourself more than any status of any relationship. Kudos on you.
Yes.
Good on you.
You don't get a chance to do that shit to me.
All right. Good. There we have, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel about it? Would you leave? Would you stay? Depending on what the status of your relationship is, let us know. Talk to us.
No, because you love him. You love him more than he's hurt you.
Comment. We're going to post this episode up on the website. Comment on the website when you see it.
Website, Instagram, Twitter.
RoutsandRelationships.com. What's the Routes and Relationships at Instagram? What's the Twitter?
Routes_ships. That's HIPS. Routes_ships.
Oh, and if you guys are on YouTube, we started videotaping our podcast. So in other words, we have the vodcast going on at Routes and Relationships. So look up Routes and Relationships on YouTube too. All right, fam.
Don't take them back, girl.
Peace.